What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Get Well Soon. So this was a first time watch for me. I've known about this movie for quite a while, but I just never got around to watching it. It was free on YouTube, like it still is, and like someone random person just uploaded it, but I don't know. I don't like watching stuff on YouTube, just like some user upload unless I have to. So, I was like, yeah, I'll watch it someday if it comes on streaming. And I was browsing Tubi the other day and I saw that this was on Tubi. So I was like so excited. I like immediately saved it to my watch list and I'm like, okay, next time I have a day off, this is the movie that I'm gonna watch. This is the movie that I'm gonna review. I'm ecstatic. So, um, you know, people who are familiar with my channel might know that I'm a big Vincent Gallo fan. I'm a huge fan of Buffalo 66. That's like his magnum opus. That's just a really good movie, and I've checked out and reviewed some of his other stuff. So it was inevitable that I would watch this, and after my first time viewing, my overall opinion of the movie is that I thought it was pretty good. There was some good comedy. Vincent Gallo absolutely killed it. I loved his performance, and I liked the little romance between his character and Courtney Cox's character. So yeah, overall, pretty good movie. So jumping into a plot summary, the movie focuses on this talk show host named Bobby Bishop, and he's played by Vincent Gallo. Bobby Bishop is his stage name. His real name is Kevin Moss, but anyways, I'll probably just refer to him as Bobby Bishop a lot. So Bobby, he's this famous talk show host, and he feels extremely empty. He is like seeking fulfillment in his life, and early on in the movie, he's interviewing this celebrity on his show, and he just snaps. He has like a total breakdown. He goes off script, and he says to his guest, he's like, I want to have sex with you. He said it a little bit more explicit, but hey, I'm family friendly over here. I'm trying to sell out and get that YouTube guap, so I try to refrain from swearing. So basically, he says to his guest that he wants to have sex with her, and this creates a uproar with negative publicity. So like I said, he's feeling empty. He needs fulfillment. So he just, after this incident, he just immediately goes to New York, and he is pursuing his old girlfriend Lily, played by Courtney Cox, and he thinks that if he's able to rekindle this old relationship, he'll get this love back in his life. He'll get this sense of fulfillment that he's lacking. So that is the basic plot summary. The first point that I want to get into is something that I noticed in this like opening monologue in the movie. So at the beginning of the movie, Bobby is talking to himself, and he's just kind of like expressing all of his inner feelings, and he says, "What I do, is it art? And, I don't know what it is." And then he's like, "I'm empty. I'm no artist. I'm a chimp." So I thought that was interesting because Vincent Gallo, he did not write or direct this movie, but I think part of the reason that he chose this movie is because the character kind of resonated with him, because there's this 2003 interview that's on YouTube, and I've listened to it quite a few times. It's very long. I believe it's over an hour, but the interviewer at one point refers to Vincent Gallo as an artist, and Vincent Gallo's like, no, I don't refer to myself as an artist at all. He's like, I don't, I think like Vincent Gallo's definition of an artist is, someone who just does make stuff with no purpose. And Vincent Gallo's like, well, according to that definition, I'm not an artist because I have a purpose. I'm like he wants to have this platform so he can kind of spread his own ideology. That's kind of what I got at from listening to the interview. But I kind of like immediately thought of that interview right when I popped this movie on, because how he's talking about like not considering himself an artist, and then in real life he doesn't consider himself an artist. In the interview he says like he describes himself as more of like a worker. He's like he ties his work in the film industry to like a factory worker, like a normal person who has like a day job. He's like, what, I get paid to do what I do. I go in, I do the work. It's not deeper than that. So yeah, like the whole opening monologue I thought was really interesting, and I did see quite a few parallels to Vincent Gallo's actual like off screen personality. I know my voice is a little hoarse. I'm sick, which is actually kind of funny that I'm reviewing a movie called Get Well Soon, and your boy needs to get well soon. So it's kind of ironic because yeah, I'm sick AF. I think I'm just getting worse and worse because I don't take medicine or sick days, because that junk's for wimps. I just thug it out. I got that natural immunity because when I was a kid I would just like play in the dirt. I would just get grimy. I would just not be very health conscious. I would just touch random stuff. I would like touch stuff at malls, and so I got like good natural immunity, so I'm straight. But anyways, yeah, I liked the parallels to Vincent Gallo's actual personality, and the whole idea of him feeling empty and not having a purpose. I feel like that kind of paralleled his real life. Not necessarily that he feels empty or he doesn't have a purpose, but like his approach to acting. I don't like how he was saying he does acting jobs for the money. Of course, to initially get into it, he probably had to have like some passion towards acting, and he had to enjoy it to some extent. But that's kind of the vibe that I get from Vincent Gallo. Like, of course, he probably loved, even though it was like a lot of hard work and probably very stressful, he probably liked the idea of like doing his own films. But like just doing acting gigs, you do get the vibe where doing these acting gigs wasn't fulfilling him. He just did it for the money. And the interviewer in the 2003 interview that I keep referring to, he was talking to Vincent Gallo about like acting, and Vincent Gallo was like, yeah, I didn't want to be famous just to be famous. I wanted to be famous so I would have a platform so that I could change the world in the direction that I wanted to change it in. And I'm saying this in a totally like unbiased way. I'm not saying I agree with Vincent Gallo's beliefs or not, because he's a very polarizing, controversial figure. I like him. I like his the work that he does. I like his movies. I like his acting. I like his his writing. I like his work. I don't I separate the art from the artist. So I'm not saying I agree with his views one way or another, but that's what he was saying, that like the acting itself and the being famous itself didn't really fulfill him. He wanted to get into that position so he could shift the world in you know, in the way that he saw fit. So yeah, that's another parallel. And I kind of also liked the idea. I'm still talking about that monologue sequence in the beginning of the film. I kind of like the idea of Vincent Gallo's character talking to himself, because you know, he's this guy named Kevin, and like later on in the movie he goes back to his old neighborhood, he runs into people and he's just like Kevin to them, but to the world he's Bobby. And from this opening monologue you kind of get the idea that he's not really Bobby, like he's talking to, you know, he's like talking to himself, like it's like he's got like this alter ego where it's like he's not really Bobby, he's Kevin, but he created this alter ego to achieve his dreams. And I feel like you see that with so many, mainly with like musicians and rappers, where you know, they might not, even though like their on stage persona is like them, they might have like created this exaggerated version of themselves to be famous, because they wouldn't, you know, be interesting otherwise. So yeah, I liked that idea as well. Moving along, still talking about that same concept, but a slightly different facet of it. I liked the whole idea of, you know, Bobby or Kevin feeling empty. You know, he talks about like, oh, you know, I thought once I achieved my dreams, once I got this gig as a big talk show host, I would, you know, feel like I made it, I would feel fulfilled, but I still feel empty, you know, I feel lost. And I feel like that theme in the movie is something that, you know, pretty much everyone can relate to. It like that really resonates with me, especially right now in my life, because I just graduated college, and I, you know, like that's something I've been working towards for years. And like I always thought like, wow, like that'll be great once I finish, and like that'll feel so good, and you know, maybe, you know, it'll unlock some opportunities. But like I feel like kind of weird, like like after, like it just felt like, I don't know, like I felt like I should have, I don't know, like I should have felt something more. Like pretty much I just graduated and nothing has changed in my life. Like everything is still just the same. So yeah, like I feel like that is just a real thing in life, where you think like, oh, if I get this job, or if I get this promotion, or if I get this degree, if I, you know, if I get a wife, if I get a family, if I get this, that, the third, you know, I'll feel fulfillment. I mean, maybe if you get a wife and kids, you will feel fulfillment. But I mean, like, just in general, like all these big life milestones, you think like once you hit this milestone, everything's gonna change. You'll be happy. You'll never be depressed again. You know, like of course, I mean, you probably don't think that, but you think like, oh, you know, like my life is gonna be 80% better, significantly better. But you know, oftentimes that's how it goes. Like you achieve something, you reach your goals, and you just like, you still feel the same. You're still struggling. And I don't know. I was just thinking of this quote from this rapper that I like, Six Dogs. He had this quote in this. He had this song called Max Keeble, and he has this line where he's like, "All I ever wanted was a Benz and a name. Now I got both, and it's still just the same." I mean, that's a bar right there. That's some real stuff. Like that line and the whole idea of like achieving your dreams and achieving this high level of success in the movie, like Bobby does. Like this whole idea is just, it's so real. It resonates with me, if it can resonate with anyone. And I really like that theme. I thought it was relatable. It was fresh, and it made me invested in the whole story. I really liked following Bobby's story. So yeah, it was awesome. Now that I talked about kind of some random themes, I would like to talk about some specific scenes and sequences that I thought were cool, or scenes and sequences that I thought were funny. So here you go. So there's like a couple instances of this. So Bobby, he's back in his hometown. He's back kind of where he grew up, and there's two specific instances where he runs into people from his past that he went to school with, and both times the people that he runs into, they're criminals now. The first time, Bobby, he's just buying a pack of cigarettes at this corner store, and this person comes in and is like holding up the store, and he like has like a gun pointed to the back of Bobby's head, and then they like look at each other and they're like, "Hey, aren't you so and so? Didn't we go to school together?" So they're just having this full conversation, catching up, while this guy's catching up with Bobby while he's still robbing the store, and he still has the gun pointed at Bobby's head. So I thought that little sequence was absolutely hilarious. And then later on in the movie, Bobby runs into this other person from his past that he went to school with, and she's a sex worker now, and she's basically like working the streets, working the corner, and she's just like, she's kind of irritating Bobby. So he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna pay you to shut up." And he's like, he's got this money, and he keeps like waving at her, just like, "Take the money. I'm gonna pay you to shut up." And there's like these undercover cops in this car, and they think that he's trying to pay for some intimate stuff. So that whole sequence was absolutely hilarious, and that becomes a scandal after that, where it's like the front page of all the papers that Bobby was getting with this sex worker. So that was really funny as well. And I just thought it was funny that there was like this recurring theme of Bobby running into people from his old acquaintances from school, and they're all criminals now, and it's just it was absolutely like hilarious, these encounters. So that was awesome. I also really liked when he's filming his show, and like when it goes to commercial break, he's just ripping cigs, he's swearing profusely. It's just like he just like flips the switch, and he's like, he's this nice talk show host, and then goes to commercial break, he's just like, fuck shit, and he's ripping his cig like as fast as possible, trying to just like speed run smoking a cig. So I thought that was funny. And then there's like two main times in the movie where Bobby just blows up. He's on air, and he just has a total breakdown. Those two instances were they're the funniest parts in the movie. They're awesome. They're just real. Like, he's just like, "I'm over this junk." Like, I already mentioned one where he's got that celebrity on towards the beginning of the movie, and he's like, I want to have sex with you. And he just gets real with it. Like, it's like unfiltered. He goes off script, and not only that, he just says, like, he just impulsively says what he's thinking. Like, that's some real junk. And then later on, he's just like, like, he's just over it. He's on air. He's like, "You know what? I'm over this. My name's not even Bobby. I'm Kevin. I'm a simple guy." And then he's like, he's like, fuck the network, fuck the ratings, fuck you, and then he just dips. So so yeah, those two instances where he just blows up on air are absolutely awesome. They're real. They're like mic drop moments. I mean, it's awesome. So yeah, those are the main like standout moments that I like. All of the moments that I just went over, those are like the main standout moments in the movie that I really liked. So yeah, there you go. Had to share those with you all. So at this point, I kind of said everything that I wanted to say. So I'm gonna jump into my recommendation and then I'm gonna head out. Okay. In terms of a recommendation, I would recommend Get Well Soon. I think it's worth watching if you're a Vincent Gallo fan, and even if you're not, it's just, I think it's a very serviceable comedy movie. It's a very serviceable romance movie. It's a solid movie. There's nothing wrong with it. So it's on Tubi right now for free. If you've watched this video and it seems like it's up your alley, definitely check it out. So that's been my recommendation, and that has been my review of Get Well Soon. Thank you all very much for watching, and peace out.